Okay, this is how to remove a quarter window. The basic idea is, first step is to set it at half height, and then you're going to come around back. Now I've removed a lot of stuff already here, and there's 3 bolts you're going to remove, and you want to get rid of the regulator. One is the top one here. Now these you don't have to remove these. This is for the crank. That will, and there's 2 more bolts here. There's one here and this one here. And what that will do is that'll get rid of, you'll see it in here, that'll get rid of this. That'll let this move out and you'll pull this back, right? So let me show you that real quick. Okay, so now I've got 3 bolts out. I've got this one out, and this one. Now this one needs to come back though. You'll see it needs to come, this one needs to be pushed back in, and it'll come out. You kind of see it down here, right? And that'll let, if you push that away, that'll let this guy come out. So this guy has to come out of the way before anything can happen. So I'm already out of the regulator. I'm already out of the slot, right? So this thing has to come out of here, and that's where this little guy right here will hang you up. This little guy right here will hang you up. So you kind of got to wiggle it out, and it has to come out. So kind of hard to do one-handed. Be right back. That's the first 2 bolts off the side window. There's a big washer there, small lock washer. Small lock washer. Looks like another washer. Put your hand here at all. Okay, just like the door, this goes on the outside, this goes in between, and then this is the back side of the window pivot point. So this goes on, like I said, since it's 3, you know, there's the back side of the pivot, this is the back side of the pivot arm, and this is in between the pivot arm and the car door, and then this is the I don't know, I'm trying to remember if this goes this way or this way on the pivot. Obviously this goes on this side. That is pretty easy to determine. If I look on the pivot arm, I should be able to see the teeth or not. And once that comes down, I can figure it out. So, okay, pulling this up, wiggling it back and forth. I eventually got that screw out of there. The main thing is you get it to fall back between there, and then you start wiggling around, and then you'll pull this out of here. Now this is the problem. And put your screw back here. Should be 2 screws that go in here. I've got them in a pile somewhere. I hope I need to find this. So this is that's that railing. That's the front railing, they call it. And they actually discuss, the only thing to discuss is putting the window at half mast, taking this out, and then they say lift it all the way up and take it out. That's not really the end of the deal. Obviously it's not going to go up, and everything else should be this is not disconnected. And then you got to take, the next step is you have to take that lower bump stop out of there to be able to force it down, and that'll let it come out of it. Now it should, pushing it down will let it come out of the regulator. So my next step is to drop it out of the regulator, and then we need to get it out of this guy. Obviously it's not going to come this way, so when you get rid of this bump stop here, it lets the thing fall down out of this track. And that's then out of this track, and that's the secret of getting this thing out of here. Getting it back in is probably even more of a nightmare, but you set, you know, obviously you take the window down, you get it in there, and then get that guy, and there's going to be the other one somewhere. And there's a little railing in there too. You see that bolt right there? There's some kind of, that guy, that shouldn't be a problem. Like I said, this didn't have to come undone. So the next thing is when you get this all unhooked, I had to take the last, like I said, I had to take the, I'll show you here in a minute. Okay, the pivot arm's out. You can see it falling down now. Now hopefully I'll be able to pull the door all the way down a lot easier. Yeah, it's falling all the way down now. Now I still got to deal with that thing, that guy right back there with the 2 bolts. So I got to still take that out. I should let this pivot, I guess the pivot arm doesn't matter anymore, it fell all the way out, but I should be able to pull this up and out. Pivot's out. Now you notice this thing didn't have to come out, but I'll take it out anyways. This whole thing was connected. So now maybe if I pull this out, if I pull this guy out, I cannot, that won't come with that. I was thinking if I could pull it out, I could get this to slip. I could get this to slip up over, but that's not going to happen. So this has to come out. Those 2 bolts, and those are usually pretty corroded because it's aluminum. So those 2 have to come out. Okay, 2 bolts are out. I don't even know if you can see. You'll see this piece will flop out now. There's that piece, it's still in there. The piece that you're going to get out is this guy. And obviously I'll lube this up and coat this stuff and all that. I replace everything with stainless, usually. Stainless hardware, these are the bolts. These guys can be really sometimes corroded in. I'll replace this with stainless and never sees it. Now comes the removal. So now you got all the bolts out and the window is essentially free. I hope this regulator isn't going to be a problem, leaving the regulator floating around like this. You'll see the regulator's up against the glass. That might not be good. Maybe I'll just remove it if I can. Well, I'll get it out of the way. So next step now is to lift this guy up. So you're going to lift the window. Whoa, I'm gonna drop it. You lift the window up here and you're like, well, how do I get it out of here? And then what you do is you pull the window a little beyond the roof and it'll start to come forward. For some reason I was an idiot and I needed a screw catcher, but let me show you. Okay, but that's going to be a problem. It has to be reattached. I've actually reattached it now. You have to get this moving a bit too. Like right here was a bit stuck on me. You have to kind of get this moving up and down, like back a little bit more. Because what you're going to do, now there's a thing on the back of this thing right down there. There's a little roller on the bottom of this window that's going to be a problem. Anyways, you're going to pull this up here like this. Pull this out. It slides out the back. It had a little bit of crust on it. You're going to pull it out the front. Now the problem is now you'll see the roller is now giving me a fit, and you'll see it right there. There's a roller. This is the problem to get it out. But I don't know if it's going to work one-handed, but you'll see it here in a minute. You'll pull the door around the roller. The roller kind of has to come. Yeah. So the roller is really the problem, and that guy right there. And that guy right there is the problem. It'll be a tight fit. Okay, that's the tight fit though on that roller, I said. And then you just kind of pull it up through here. And I don't know what's in the back. Hopefully there's not going to be anything stuck in the back. Yeah, there's something stuck in the back here a little bit. Yeah, afraid about that. I got that off last time. There's that little bracket on the end that's got to come off. So let me fight with that a bit. I think it comes out the back, right? I think it comes out the back, that hole right there. Let's see. Okay, you will have to take that off, and then it'll slide out of there. So, and like I said, you'll slide it up past the window here, and that'll come out, and then that's it.